Hello everyone, how you all doing? Can you all see me? Please let me know if you can see me. I'm just trying to. Can everyone see me? Hi. Okay, thank you very much for confirming that. Good to see you all. So I'm going live on TikTok at the same time. If you are, yeah, okay. So just give me 1 second whilst I set everything up. Let me know where you're joining from. Okay, guys. So let me know where you're joining from and let me know which country you are targeting. Let me know which country is the country of your choice. And please like and share this video. Let others know that we are live. We're not live on Instagram as we usually will be. We're live on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube instead. Okay, so let me know where you're joining from. Just let me know where you're joining from. Okay, I can see Olivia. Olivia, nice to see you. Adenike, nice to see you. Alexandra, you're welcome. Favor, thank you very much. Keshini, thank you for joining. You've been waiting. I do apologize for that due to some technical issues, but hopefully it's all sorted now. So if you're joining on TikTok, I'm also live on YouTube as well. In case it looks like I'm looking up and down, I'm live on different devices and across different platforms. So good to see you all. Ruth has been waiting since 6:19. Good to see you, Ruth. You're welcome. It's like you were first to be here. Okay, so let's know where you're joining from, and we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to, just go live straight. And if you're joining from TikTok, Saidi, Peggy, thank you for joining us. And please do let us know where you are joining from. Okay, without wasting much of our time, the topic we're going to be discussing today are the updates. It's no longer news that the UK government has, said all they've said. They've released their white papers and, they're saying we want to increase ILR to 10 years. We no longer want care workers in our country. And it's really like, what does this mean for you? What does this mean for me? What does this mean for everyone that has been targeting the UK, that has been looking to come and, contribute to the UK, society, community, and economy? And now the UK government has said what they have said, and we have to start thinking, what countries want you? Where can you go? And within 2 years, you get your PRO. You don't have to wait for 10 years to get your PRO, it's no longer, it's not yet law. It hasn't been signed into law. It's just a proposal. So you don't have to be, worried or scared or afraid yet. But we want to start looking at other alternatives. Why is it that people are not looking into these countries? Why is it that people are not looking into Australia? Is it because it's too far? What if I told you that Australia has a care worker pathway that can get you in as little as 1 week? What if I told you that? Pending all your documentation, being correct, you can get to Australia in 1 week time. What if I told you that, are you going to start considering Australia, or is it because Australia is too far? Hi, Dennis. Good to see you here. So please let me know what your thoughts are. Is Australia too far? Or why do you think people are not leveraging Australia? Why are people not looking into New Zealand? Is it because of the cost of living? What are your thoughts? Have you tried Australia? Have you tried New Zealand? Have you tried to relocate to the Republic of Ireland? In fact, I'm going to be in Ireland next month, and I'm going to be there, talking to employers and, seeing how we can, help a lot of you to come in and work as care workers and get your PR in quicker timelines. So let me know your thoughts. Let's make this as engaging as possible. Okay, let me know your thoughts. Okay, so Ruth is joining from Botswana. Hi, Ruth. How is it, in Botswana at this time? I can see Dennis here. Good evening, Dennis. So please like and share this video. Just like and share so that more people will come and join this discussion. And I will be dropping the updates. I don't plan to stay for too long. So for those that are joining me from TikTok and from Facebook, let me see what's happening on Facebook. you're all welcome. So I'm just going to wait, let's give it 2-3 minutes for more people to join. And then we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to talk about these updates and how we want to leverage, what we currently have. And for those that do not yet have, what we need to do, to get these things and just to go to relocate this year, 2025. Okay, guys, so I'm just checking what's happening on Facebook. Oh, I'm live on Facebook as well. So that's interesting. It shows us live on Facebook. Okay. Okay, brilliant. All right, then. So that's working. Okay, Rafi says, I'm interested in Ireland. So where do we start from? I had earlier put Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. And then I realized that there is no way we're going to discuss these 4 countries in how many minutes? In 30 minutes to 1 hour. So I decided to break it. Let's talk about Australia and New Zealand because they are very similar pathways. And then we talk about Ireland. So we do Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland tonight. And then we will reschedule for Canada. So the good news is that Canada has just launched a new visa pathway. So in case you are not aware of it, Canada has launched a rural pathway for immigration. So what that means is that if you are willing and you're happy to go to Canada and work in their rural communities, in the very rural communities, there is a new pathway for you. And the good news is that Grammartorial is working very hard behind the scenes to see how we can help as many of our students, as many of our clients to leverage the Canada pathway in 2025. And I also have good news for the Republic of Ireland. I'm sure most of you that are Grammartorial students will know that the employer we have in the Republic of Ireland was only asking for people that had a driving license, a valid EU driving license. And that was a big constraint for a lot of our students and for a lot of our clients. But good news, there is a big careers fair coming up next month in the Republic of Ireland. And yours sincerely will be at that, fair. And I will be networking with a lot of employers and that same employer to see how we can work together to take away this constraint or this restriction of driver's license. But if there is anyone from Grammartorial that is watching me, or maybe you're not from Grammartorial, you're watching me from the UK or from any EU country, and you have an EU driving license or a South African driver's license, then you want to send me a DM or you want to send me an email, and we can see how we put you through to this employer that we have in the Republic of Ireland. So in addition to the driver's license, the employer that we have partnered with are also asking for an NVQ level 3 or a QQI level 5. So you want to reach out to us and we'll discuss about that for Ireland. So I'm just still waiting for more people to join. Okay, we have some people, Peggy on TikTok is saying, I don't mind Canada. I prefer Canada to Australia. So Peggy, why do you prefer Canada to Australia? It will be quite interesting to know what people think about Australia. I put out a post about Australia about 2 weeks ago, and lots of people were talking about snakes and reptiles and all sorts of, all sorts of animals. And for that reason, they were saying they were not going to move to Australia. But I found that very funny, and I found it laughable that you would think that such a developed country like Australia is going to leave you, vulnerable and exposed to reptiles and wild animals. It's definitely not going to happen. So let me know what your thoughts are with respect to all these countries. Okay, yes, this is the long-awaited live session. We're going to explore Australia and New Zealand in more details. If you have a UK or Ireland or EU or South Africa driver's license, please just put a comment, and I or my members of my team will reach out to you. You're a candidate for this employer we have in the Republic of Ireland. But like I said earlier, I am going to Ireland, pretty soon, and I'm going to be networking for other employers that will be open to sponsoring, people that maybe do not have a driver's license or will be willing to cover the cost of insurance for the vehicle they're going to be driving. A lot of the jobs in Ireland would require you as a care worker to be able to drive. So even though you're going to be working in a residential setting, most employers want you to be able to drive because there may be requirements for you to take your residents to activities or to the GP, or, to do several things. So they usually like people that can drive. So that's a big, big, big constraint and a big restriction that I am working very hard to be able to overcome that restriction, so that more and more Grammartorial students, more and more of my clients will be able to relocate to the Republic of Ireland with their healthcare certifications. Okay, so Ifedola says, I'm open to any of these countries. That's good to know. Ruth is saying Botswana is very cold, winter time here, Australia and New Zealand. Okay, so it looks like Australia and New Zealand is winning it. So TikTok, are you ready for us to go to Australia and New Zealand? Facebook, let me know what you think. Are you ready for us to start with Australia and New Zealand? I think we have sufficient people now, but I'm just going to see how many likes we have. So if you have not liked this video, before I start dishing out the latest updates on Australia and New Zealand, and then we move to Ireland finally, I want you to like this video. So I want to see the likes go up on I want to see the likes go up on YouTube. I want to see the likes go up on Facebook, and I want to see the likes go up on TikTok. So thank you, legendary Matthew, for liking. I want you to share. Also share this video. Share it with your family, share it with your friends, share it on your groups, share it with your loved ones, share it with your enemies. There is love in sharing. You may be helping not just one person, but you're actually going to be helping a generation from sharing this live video. Okay, so let's see how many likes do we have here. I want to drop valuable information. Okay, so YouTube, let's get the likes up, and we will go straight into the business of today. So I'm going to be sharing screen on YouTube, and for those on TikTok or those watching me on Facebook, you may or may not be able to see my screen, but I will be reading out what we have on my screen, and I'm going to be taking you step by step through the process. And I'm also going to give room for questions and answers. So it's going to be a master class, okay? So I'm going to be dishing out a lot of information for free. I'm going to be giving out a lot of updates for free as well. And I'm also going to be giving current updates from the horse's mouth. So you're going to be seeing it live and direct from the government website. And then at the end, we're going to be discussing how can Grammartorial help you? Where does Grammartorial, come in? How are you able to get these jobs? Because a lot of you have come to me complaining that getting the jobs, this is the real issue. Getting the jobs, being able to acquire these jobs, acquiring the skills is one thing. Acquiring the qualification is another thing. Acquiring the documentation is another ball game, and even getting the job is another ball game altogether. So here is the catch. At the end, I'm going to be telling you how Grammartorial is going to help you, where Grammartorial comes in. I've already talked about the Republic of Ireland, and I've told you what I'm going to do for Irish employers. But for Australia and New Zealand, I'm going to be sharing with you what Grammartorial is going to be doing as far as the employability is concerned. And also for Canada, I'm also going to be telling you, just a little bit about the Canadian, rural pathway and where Grammartorial comes in and what Grammartorial is currently doing at the moment. But we're going to have a full-on Canada, because Canada is just going to be a lot of information, and I do not want to overload and overburden you with information tonight. So please grab your pen, grab your paper, grab your popcorn, grab your drink, grab all the grabbables, and we're going on the ride now. And if anyone wants to join me live, I will share the link at the end so that we can, discuss, or maybe we'll take questions, at the end of this session. Okay, so let's go to the Australia. Let's start with Australia care jobs. We're also going to look at some of the employers. For Australia, it's called the Aged Care Worker Visa. and that is what we're going to be sharing, all the updates for the aged care worker visa. It's the new aged care worker visa, and this was updated on the 11th of March 2025. So I'm going to share screen, and if you can see my screen on Facebook or YouTube, please give me a thumbs up. And on TikTok, you're not going to see my screen, but I'm going to read out everything I'm sharing on YouTube for you guys. Okay, so let's go. I'm sharing screen, so please let me know when you can see my screen. And just give me a thumbs up or say something. Just say something on, maybe you can say something on. Okay, so can you see my screen on YouTube? Can you see my screen on YouTube and Facebook? Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay, so you want to give me a thumbs up. Yes, Favor, thank you for letting me know. My screen is live now. So for Australia, you're going to get a visa, and the name of the visa that you are aiming for in Australia, I'm going to break it down. So please just bear with me. It may take some time, but if you're writing, you can write and ask questions at the end, or you can, type your questions, and we're going to take questions after I present Australia. Then we move to New Zealand, then take questions. Then we move to Ireland, then take questions. Okay. So as I'm sharing, the Australian aged care providers can now access the new aged care industry labor agreements. Good news. So when one door closes, another door opens, or a window opens. So while some countries are closing their doors and closing their windows to care workers, some other countries are saying, hey, we want you, come join us. So this is exactly what Australia is saying. They've opened their doors. They've just updated this 2 months ago. So the aged care industry labor agreement streamlines the recruitment of qualified. Please mark the word qualified, okay? If you are not qualified, you do not have any business with this Australian pathway. And that is why I like this pathway, the Australian pathway, because it's going to separate the boys from the men. It's going to separate the girls from the women. It's going to separate the qualified from the unqualified. So please mark the word qualified. Qualified direct care workers from overseas. Okay, so when one country is saying we do not want workers from overseas, Australia is saying we need workers from overseas. We want workers from overseas. Time will not permit me to show you the demography of Australia, how big Australia is, and how many old people they have in Australia, and how the age, the number of old people in Australia is on the increase, on the rise. And by 2030, which is in 5 years' time, the number of old people has been predicted to quadruple. So they're going to have a lot more old people, elderly people in Australia, North Australia, South Australia. They're going to have lots of old people, and that is why Australia needs you. If you're a qualified care worker, if you're a qualified nurse, allied health professional, doctor, medical worker, or you are looking to transition to healthcare, you're looking to transition, maybe you're not in the healthcare field, maybe you're in a different field, and you're saying, okay, now is the time for me to start to think, what do I want to do with my future? What do I want to do with my next 10, 20 years? And you are thinking about that. There is no better time than now, and there is no better country than Australia. So you can see it directly here. For those on TikTok or those on Facebook, I'm reading from the Home Affairs, gov.au. That is the Australian government website. So this was updated in March 2025, 2 months ago, and it is very valid and also very current. So employers can use this where appropriately qualified Australians are not available. So now let's look at the purpose of the aged care industry labor agreements. You can use the aged care labor agreement to sponsor overseas workers in the following key direct care occupations. 1, nursing support workers, personal care assistants, also known as healthcare assistants here in the UK, and thirdly, aged or disabled carer. So if you're a nursing support worker, a personal care assistant, or an aged or disabled carer, or you are looking to transition into any of these roles, then this particular pathway is for you. So if you know anybody, if you have relatives, if you have a brother, if you have a sister, if you have friends that want to leverage this pathway, please share this video with them now. Share this video on your story, share this video on your status, share this video on your Facebook, WhatsApp groups. You may just be blessing someone. You may just be a blessing to someone by sharing this video, because the information that we are giving out, you are not going to get this anywhere. So you need to let's look at applying. What do you need now to apply for the aged care industry labor agreement? Aged care providers that enter into an MOU with the relevant industry unions will receive streamlined access to the aged care industry labor agreement. Mark the word streamlined. Okay, so a lot of you have been put off by the Australian pathway. You have thought that, oh, Australia takes such a long time to process. It could take up to 6 months. It could take up to 1 year. But here I'm here to bust your bubbles. In fact, it's not me busting the bubbles. It's the gov.au Home Affairs, the government of Australia is telling you that it is a streamlined process. You know, in fact, the Home Affairs Minister in Australia was saying they wanted the process to be as fast as 24 hours. But from my experience and experience of my students and clients, I hear that the process takes about 1 to 2 weeks, you know, to process. It's a very fast and streamlined process to process your Australian aged care worker visa. Now, there are two particular industry unions that you can go through. One is the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Council, that is the ANMAC, and the other one is going to be the ACWA, Australian Community Worker Association. So let's look at applying for a visa under the Aged Care Industry Labor Agreement. What do you need? What do you need to be able to get this visa? What do you need to be able to relocate to Australia in 2025? This is May. Today is the 24th of May. You can be in Australia by December, before the end of this year. But it is critical that we look at the criteria and what you need to be able to transition and relocate to Australia. So before applying for a visa, overseas workers must first contact their employer to ensure the provider has access to the Aged Care Industry Labor Agreement. So mark the word, access to the Aged Care Industry Labor Agreement. So I'm going to be sharing with you the particular employers that have the access, okay? So just hang on with me. I'm going to be sharing with you those employers that have access to the Aged Care Industry Labor Agreement, because that is what you want to know. Some of you already have your NVQ level 3, you already have your AQF level 3 certificate, you've done your IELTS, you have all the requirements, and you're just like, Laura, just tell me which employers, where can I get this job? So hang on, I'm going to be sharing with you for free how you can access employers that have access to the Aged Care Industry Labor Agreement, okay? So once you have confirmed access, check if the employer has nominated you for a skills in demand visa. So you need a skills in demand visa. And the good news is that the care work is a skills in demand, subclass 482, or employer nomination scheme visa, subclass 186. So I'm going to share with you the difference between subclass 482 and subclass 186. So just hang on with me. So if you are outside of Australia, maybe you are in the UK, or you are in a European country, or you are in Africa, or in India, or in Asia, any of the Asian countries, your employer is going to nominate you for subclass 482 for 2 years. And after you have lived in Australia for 2 years, the employer will, if they are happy with you, you've done your work well, you've done a good job, they're going to nominate you for subclass 186. So subclass 186 is your permanent residency. So after you have stayed 2 years, you don't have to stay 5 years, guys. You don't have to keep renewing your visa. You don't need to pay IHS fee. You don't need any of those. All you need to have done is spend 2 years working well for your employer in Australia, and you qualify for subclass 186, which is a permanent residency visa or a permanent residency status in Australia. Okay, so now for you to be able to access these employers, for you to be able to get these jobs, for you to be able to get visa 482, be nominated for visa 482, the first thing you will need is you need a positive skills assessment. So someone is going to ask me, but Laura, what's a positive skills assessment? What do you mean by positive skills assessment? A positive skills assessment can be gotten from either the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Accreditation Council, direct skills assessment, or the Aged Care Industry Labour Agreement, Community Work Australia, formerly known as ACWA. So these are the two industries, the two unions that are able to give you a positive skills assessment. So one of the things we do to our RQF and non-RQF students and also our masterclass students is that we help you through the process of applying for a skills assessment. All our students that have followed this pathway, I'm telling you, every single one of them, 100% have been successful in getting a positive skills assessment. So if you're thinking of joining the RQF, or you're already on the RQF diploma, or you're on the non-RQF, then just get across to us. Or if you're thinking of joining any of these ones, you can join it. Or if you already have a diploma from another institute, you can join our masterclass and we will help you through the process of applying for your skills assessment to get a positive skills assessment. So once you've gotten the skills assessment, that is just one step you have crossed. So there are still other steps. So just bear with me, just ride on this journey with us, and I'm going to be showing you all the other steps that you can take to get your Australian care worker visa. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, or you're watching on Facebook, or you're watching on on TikTok, and it looks like I'm looking elsewhere, is because I'm streaming across different devices. So please do bear with me. Now, there are some concessions to the Aged Care Industry Labour Agreements, terms and concessions. So it just talks about a 2-year pathway to permanent residency. I think these are the benefits, so to say. And streamlined visa nomination and priority visa application processing. So please note that you're going to get priority visa. You're not going to be waiting for some countries. I know, like Canada, you're going to wait for up to 6 months. Some other countries, you could wait 2 or 3 months. But with Australia, once you get the job, it's a priority visa processing. Like I said earlier, you can get your visa in as little as 1 week. Some people have gotten their visa in less than a week. Some other people have gotten in 2 weeks. So you're going to get an annual salary of at least 51,200 Australian dollars. So you can work that out. You can convert it to US dollars, or you can convert it to pound sterling. 51,200 Australian dollars as a basic salary. I think that is quite good. So that is not including, extra shifts. It's not including your bank work. It's not including your bonuses or commissions or overtime work. It's just your basic salary. So they're saying your basic salary is going to be 51,200 Australian dollars, or the Australian market salary rate where it's higher. Now let's look at the key visa application requirements. You need to hold a relevant AQF Certificate 3 or equivalent. So if you know what is the meaning of AQF Certificate 3, or if you have an equivalent to AQF Certificate 3, please can you just put it in the comment section and say, I have an AQF Certificate 3. If you do not have an AQF Certificate 3 or equivalent, just say, I do not have, or I don't know what it is. So let me see that on the comment section. If you're on YouTube, or you're on Facebook, or you're on TikTok, just let me know if you have the AQF Certificate 3, and I'll skip some parts. And if you do not know what an AQF Certificate 3 is, just let me know. So I'll tell you what it is. So AQF stands for Australian Qualification Framework. It's very similar to RQF, Regulated Qualification Framework, okay? AQF Certificate 3 will be like an RQF Level 3, or even the non-RQF Level 3. So thank you, Matthew, for confirming that. Olabingpe is saying, I do not know what it is. So I'm going to tell you what it is. it's an Australian qualification framework. So for some countries, it would be like an OND diploma. If you're from Nigeria, it would be like your OND diploma in care. Yes, so Dennis, yours would relate because you have an RQF level 3. It's higher. So the RQF level 3 is actually about AQF certificate 4. It's higher than AQF certificate 3, so it passes. And the non-RQF diploma would also meet the requirements. So Keshni is saying, I have RQF level 3 in health and social care in the UK. So you meet the requirements. Jesse, I've already explained what it is. Joy, I've explained what it is. So it's like an RQF or non-RQF diploma. So a care certificate will not work. A CPD certificate will not work, will not meet the requirement. So if you have a care certificate or you have a CPD, level 3 certificate, it's not going to meet the requirements and you will not be able to get, a positive skills assessment with that. So you want to take an actual RQF or non-RQF diploma in healthcare or in health and social care or in adult care, and it must be a vocational qualification. So it must have had a work-based element of the course. The course must have a work-based element. It must have had a vocational element or a placement element. So like you must have taken some practical courses or placement in a hospital setting or in a care home setting or in a supported living facility. If you have a nursing diploma, it would meet the requirement as well. I've seen some people come and tell me that they have maybe a healthcare management or healthcare technician course. It doesn't meet the requirement as far as the positive skills assessment is concerned. So the positive skills assessment will be looking for a certificate in care where you have primarily carried out roles in caring for the elderly, caring for vulnerable adults and children or, persons, and you have worked in a hospital, care, or supported living facility. So the second key visa requirement is you need to obtain a positive skills assessment. And like I said earlier, Grammartorial can help you and guide you through the process of getting a positive skills assessment from the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Council or the Community Work Australia if you obtain your qualifications overseas. Now, this is where it starts to get very interesting. And I think this is where I've gotten the most amount of questions from people asking me, do I need an IELTS or do I need an English language proficiency to relocate to Australia? Or can I use my ECTIS conversion or my NARIC conversion to relocate to Australia? And I'm going to give you the answer, as you can see, directly from source, from the Home Affairs, .gov.au website. You need to have an English language proficiency of at least IELTS 5.0 or equivalent, okay? So you need 5.0 or equivalent. By saying equivalent, there are other English language tests that you can take like TOEFL, Duolingo, PTE, Pearson's. It doesn't have to be IELTS. There are other English language tests. So if you do not know which English language test to take, you can send us an email or you can send us a DM and we will let you know. Or you can just, type under the comment section, which English language test can I take? And I'm sure a member of my team will be on ground to respond to you. Okay, so I'm just going to take some questions from the comment section. I don't know if we have any questions on the comment section on TikTok, but I can see that we have questions on YouTube. So Peggy is asking, is the same as an NVQ level 3 health and social care? Yes, that's correct. But please make sure that CPD certificates are not allowed. It has to be a vocational qualification or a competency-based qualification. So they do not allow CPDs, okay? Ria is saying, I did BSc nursing from India. Besides, I have 2 years experience as a healthcare assistant in UK. Yes, so you qualify. Dennis is asking, does UKVI General overall 6.0 relate? Yes, so if you have 6.0, it means that you have higher than, you have higher. So they would, I know that Australia usually asks for IELTS general, but I don't know if you use the UKVI, if you will be rejected. It's maybe worth sending them an email to ask them. Yes, you can use IELTS academic. They accept IELTS academic. Okay, what about social care certificates in Nigeria? So Adenike, if you have a social care certificate in Nigeria that is more than 6 months old and more than 120 hours of vocational placement and is accredited by a nationally recognized awarding body. So those are the conditions. It has to be accredited by a nationally recognized awarding body. Okay, so it has to be recognized by a nationally recognized awarding body. So let's continue. Skills, qualification, da 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 da. Okay, so these are the major requirements that you need. So I need you to just type in the comment section, what are the requirements? Because this is like a master class, okay? Anytime I come live, you know, I'm coming to deliver so much value. So let's do this like a master class. I want you to comment on the comment section. Let me know what are the documentation and requirements that you need for the Australian aged care worker visa. If you've been following, I want to know if you've been following. So I want someone to type on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on TikTok. What are the requirements that you need? Misty, thank you for confirming. So you're saying PTE 55 is equivalent to which band? Oh, no, I don't know. PTE 55, you need to check. So you need to check the conversions. It's right there on the website. You need to check the conversions. But PTE 55 is a high score. So I think PTE 38, if I'm not wrong, is equivalent to about 4.0. So PTE 55, it's a high score. So I believe it should be more than 5.0, but you just need to check. Okay. So please, if you're watching, can you just kindly type what are the requirements for Australia so that someone that joined late can, you know, get those requirements. And I know that you are following, you're following everything that we're saying. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do as far as Australia is concerned, we want to look at the employers that are actually recruiting. How many of us are waiting for this? How many of us want to know the employers that are recruiting? A lot of employers in Australia will use Seek. So if you're not familiar with Seek, SEEK, Seek is a platform where employers would, post jobs, and it's a very good platform and useful platform that a lot of my students have used. But now I'm going to show you the employers that are recruiting in Australia. So hang on with me for 1 minute, and I'm just going to pull up the employers. Okay, so this is called the list of current labor agreements. If you're watching on TikTok, on Facebook, you are going to go on iwmi.homeaffairs.gov.au and you will search for list of current labor agreements. So just type on Google list of current labor agreements Australia. If you can type that on Google, it will take you directly to the immigration.homeaffairs.gov.au page. And there you will get the current list of all employers that are offering jobs under healthcare, that are currently sponsoring workers within the healthcare sector. So on YouTube, I'm going to go back and share my list, and I will show you over 100 employers that are currently giving out visa sponsorship in Australia. So how many of us are ready to see this now? Let me see. Okay, we have quite a lot of people watching on YouTube now. So if you've not liked, please like, and share before I will share this information with you. I already know that a lot of people are going to get jobs in Australia after watching this live video. A lot of people are going to relocate to Australia and get their permanent residency within the next 2 years. So all you can do is, if you feel you are getting value from this live, I want you to like and share. Share it on your story, share it on your status, Share it with someone. You know, there are things that mean a lot more than money. Share it on your groups and, you know, be a blessing to someone. So let's take these likes up to, you know, 40 on YouTube. Let's take these likes, you know, on TikTok. Let's take the likes up on Facebook as well. And let us make engaging comments. Okay, so I'm going to share now. I'm going to share the list of companies. And some of these companies are like massive companies. They're actually really big companies. They're very big companies where you can get these jobs. They are massive companies. So they have maybe like 100 branches, 200 branches, some of them. So they are really big companies with different branches across the north and south of Australia. Okay, so guys, I'm sharing my screen now. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Just give me a thumbs up and you're going to see a screen that says list of current labor agreements. List of current labor agreements. Okay, so I think the screen is here. Just let me know if you can see my screen on the live chat. Okay, someone is asking, how about dependents? Yes, the good news about Australia visa pathway, skilled worker visa 482 is that it allows you to come with your dependents. So you can bring your wife, you can bring your husband, your spouse, and your children. These are your dependents, and they are allowed to relocate with you to Australia. Daughter of the Most High is asking, will phlebotomy certificate qualify for Australia work visa? The answer is no. So your phlebotomy certificate can be used as an add-on, but they want a vocational certificate that has more than 120 hours of vocational placement and is longer than 6 months in duration. So your phlebotomy certificate cannot be used as a standalone. So you need to have a diploma, either the non-RQF diploma or the RQF diploma. But unfortunately, they do not accept online CPD certificates. Okay, so you guys can see my screen now. So I'm just going to show you. So when you get to this page, which is list of current labor agreements, employing and sponsoring someone, sponsoring workers. So this is where you're going to find the list of all the companies that are sponsoring in Australia. So irrespective of your discipline or your occupation, you can use this particular list to get a job. A lot of students are getting jobs using this list. So you can check on the, just go to the one you are interested in. For the purpose of this particular live session, we're interested in what? In the industry, aged care. So we're going to click on aged care as our industry, and it will reset and it will bring out all the aged care. So you can see that we have 342. The last time I checked, I think there were, oh no, I clicked on diary. Okay, so I'm just going to, yes, so we have just aged care. So you see we have 119, over 100 companies are currently sponsoring people. So if we look at all these companies, all you need to do now is, let's take, for example, for those that are not, oh, my screen is not showing, I apologize. So I'm going to, I don't know if I can share this live and drop the links, but I'm sharing it on YouTube. That is why. So those on YouTube can see my screens. I know a lot of people are going to go on YouTube now. So if you want to join on YouTube, it's at Grammartorial. Is it at Grammartorial Education on YouTube? Yeah, so you can join us on YouTube and you will see my screen on YouTube. So we can see that we have over 119 companies, from First Care Community to Reality, Adelaide Quality Care, Aged Care Staff, Ali Caring, Alina Incorporated, All Home Caring, Anglican Aged Care. Anglican Aged Care has sponsored a lot of people. They sponsored a whole lot of people. Assisi Center Limited, Australian Aged Care Group. I'm giving out all this information for free. So this, Bupa Aged Care, they have a reputation for sponsoring care workers from UK. So if you're watching me and you're in the UK, this particular company, they sponsor healthcare assistants and healthcare workers in the UK. So we can also go and see a lot more: Central Desert Regional Council, Share Council, Columbia Nursing Homes. There are a lot of them. Curtin's Heritage Living Incorporated, they employ more than 5,000 people. Last year alone, they gave over 2,000 sponsorship. They sponsored a lot of people, majorly from India and the Philippines, some from Africa, and some from the UK as well. So the beauty about Australia is that they are licensed agents as well, that you can go through, immigration and recruitment agents. So like I said, there are lots of companies that are sponsoring. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you where Grammartorial comes in and how Grammartorial can, help you in terms of employability and how to access some of these companies, because it could feel quite daunting and overwhelming trying to apply. So many people are applying. You have thousands of people applying to some of these companies, and some of them do not just look at applications, so you get an automatic rejection. So this is where Grammartorial will come in, and this is where we want to be helping our students, our clients, and those that have joined our master classes going forward. So you can save this link. This is where I'll draw the curtain for the Australian care worker visa pathway. There is a lot more that I can share, but time will not permit me. And that is why we have our masterclass coming up in June. Our masterclass is 2 weeks dedicated to guiding you and helping you to apply for these jobs, to contact these employers, to go through the positive skills assessment process for Australia, for New Zealand, for Ireland, and for the UK. So if you're here and you already have most of the documentations that we have seen, which will also be similar for New Zealand and Ireland and even the UK, then you want to send us an email. Our email is info@grammartorial.com, or you want to send us a DM on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, or whichever social media platform you're watching us on, and you want to join our masterclass. There's so much value in the masterclass. A lot of our masterclass students are testifying of getting jobs in any of these countries. Someone is saying my screen is blur. Yes, so Ruth, you can Google the information and you'll find it there. So if you are already a Grammartorial member of the Grammartorial family, you're going to go through the Career Support Week. If you've gone through the Career Support Week and you need a refresher, please let us know. So info@grammartorial.com is our email, and you can send us an email and we'll be right there to help you. So I've not talked about New Zealand. Do we have any questions on Australia before we move over to New Zealand? I'm going to stop sharing. Any question on Australia? So let's take some questions on Australia. Okay, some people are asking question. Ijama is saying, what of those in Nigeria? How do we pay then? So if you are in Nigeria, you can pay in dollars or you can pay in pounds. It's very easy. Anybody in Nigeria knows how to go to a bureau de change, and you can purchase, either pound sterling or dollars and pay directly into our GTB account. If you are in any other country, you can also pay as well, but we accept dollars or pounds for the RQF, the non-RQF, and the masterclass. Okay, so I want to go to New Zealand. We still have plenty of work to do tonight, and I'm excited to be sharing this with you because I know that this is life transforming, this is destiny changing and altering for so many people. And from his story, from past live sessions that we've done, we usually get lots of testimonies of people that will go and implement everything that we talked about, and they always come back with their testimonies, whether it be for the UK. I've done a lot of series on UK, Scotland. You can watch some of my past videos on Scotland, on Ireland, we usually get lots of testimony. So if you believe that you're going to be someone that will get a testimony from implementing the things that we're talking about tonight, I just want you to type something in the comment section. Just type something that you will come back to this particular video and you will remember that you joined this live and you typed this. Expectation is the mother of manifestation. You do not enter into a future that you did not expect, that you did not see, that you did not plan, that you did not prepare towards. So I want you to expect these things, and not just to expect blindly, but to also work with strategy. It's one thing for you to expect. It's another thing for you to have a strategy in place to say that I am on my way to a destination A or a destination D, and it's going to take me a time T to get there. And this is the pathway to get there. So what I'm doing tonight is I am showing you the pathway to get to your destination T. For some people, for Mr. A, it may take time T. For Mr. B, it may take time T plus 2 hours. For Mr. C, it may take time T plus 3 months. So irrespective of how long it's going to take you, the most important thing is that you have a destination in view. You know where you are going. You have a roadmap to get there, and you have a strategy that will take you there. You have a vehicle that will take you there. And Grammartorial is going to be willing to work with you, to hold you by the hands, to lead you and to guide you to get to your destination. So this is our mission, this is our vision, and this is our calling at Grammartorial Education, Trainings, and Recruitment Support. So we're going to help you get there. Okay, so yes, let's go on to look at New Zealand. So do we have anybody here that is interested in New Zealand? On TikTok, is anybody interested in New Zealand? TikTokers, where are my TikTokers? This is my first time of going live on TikTok, so please bear with me. Okay, so I'm just going to look at how it works on TikTok. TikTok. Okay, so I'm going live in 3 places at the same time for the first time. So let's see who we have on TikTok. Okay, TikTok. Guys, I don't know how it works on TikTok, but I'm seeing people giving gifts. I really don't know what that means, but if it means what I'm thinking it means, thank you very much for the gifts. Thank you very much. I'm seeing some gifts coming through on TikTok. Thank you for your gifts. If you feel you're getting value from TikTok, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Thank you, Adekpa Owusu. I hope I pronounced your name well. Thank you, Olanix. I'm just going to give a shout out to those. Miss T, I can also see. Thank you very much, Miss T. Thank you, everyone that is supporting us on TikTok. It's my first time on TikTok, so thank you very much for the support. Now, back to YouTube. We're going to share New Zealand. And for those that are watching on TikTok, I'm going to put out information. If you join this live, just send me a DM, and I'll send you the direct links that we're sharing on YouTube so that you're not left out or you're not going to miss out on anything, okay? So don't worry, you're not going to miss out on anything. So now, why do you think people are not going to New Zealand? Can someone tell me why? Why are people talking just about UK, Canada, UK, Canada, UK, Canada? And a lot of people are not talking about New Zealand and Australia. Who can tell me why? I'm very curious to know why people are not talking about New Zealand. Anybody? Okay, does anybody know why? Let me see. Any comments? Why do you think people are not talking about New Zealand? Okay, Otung is saying, I feel their pathways aren't understood. Ike is saying it's not really a popular country to migrate to. I think the same thing as well. I think because the pathways are not properly understood, we do not have as many, maybe Nigerians or Ghanaians or Indians in those countries. And more people have like their relatives, their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their uncles and aunties in the UK, US, and Canada. And these countries are more popular. They have more immigrants, and places like Australia and New Zealand are also far. They are further. So it may take you almost a day to travel to Australia and New Zealand. Those places are quite far. So I think that these are some of the reasons why people are not looking to migrate there. But I want to ask a question, or maybe a poser question. Would you relocate to Australia if you are given a visa? So that's my question to you. So let's assume that you get a visa to go to Australia, and you get a visa to go to the UK, and you get a visa to go to Canada. Which of these three countries will you choose? So I'm quite interested to know. Or let me say you get a visa today to go to Australia. Would you pick up that opportunity? Will you go? If your answer is yes, please just drop in the comment section and tell me, yes, I will be willing to go to Australia or New Zealand. And if your answer is no, tell me why you will not go. Okay, so I'm seeing some very interesting answers. Wamba said yes. Otung says yes, definitely. Okay. Ike says Australia. Keshine is saying Australia. Thandi says definitely. Grace says yes. Olabimpe says yes. Adenike is saying yes, I will be willing. Okay. The reason why I ask these questions is because I want to know if it is worth it for me to go all the way to Australia to try to network with employers and see how I can help my audience and how I can help my Grammartorial family. So I want to know, is it worth it for me to travel all the way to Australia? Because Australia is far. Is it worth it for me to go to Australia and New Zealand and go and network with legitimate recruitment agents and legitimate, employers to bring you guys? I know of rural communities. I have done my research. And trust me when I say I've done my research, I have done good research. And I know of rural communities that need foreign care workers. But before I put out these rural employers or these rural communities, it's something I want to see if there is enough interest. If I have enough people, 80% of my audience or 80% of my students are interested, because it's going to be a lot of investment in my time and in my money to travel all the way to Australia. But it's going to be worth it as well if I know that I'm going to be helping people, families, and lives of people are going to be transformed by me doing it. So that's why I asked the question to see, are people really interested? Because anytime I put out a post about Australia, it just goes like this. But when you put out a post about the UK, about NHS, then you see a lot of people, or Canada. So okay. Yes, people are saying it is going to be worth it. We will go where there is opportunity. It is worth it. I like that. You go where the opportunity is. Okay, so now let's move on with New Zealand. Now that I know that there is a lot of interest, Matthew says we'll be willing to go. So we're going to be working on that. So let's share screen. Time is fast spent. We need to go very quickly now. So I will be running through. I'll be running through quite quickly on New Zealand so that we can enter into Ireland quickly as well tonight. Okay, so accredited employer work visa. I think it's coming live now. So I'm sharing screen for accredited employer work visa. This was updated like really, really recently. It was updated, I think, sometime this month. So it says apply for this visa if you have a job offer from an accredited employer. So your employer will send you a link to the online application form. It's so easy. In fact, New Zealand application is so easy. You can do it yourself within an hour. You can stay for up to 5 years, but hey, just hold on. I'll tell you how many years you need to get a PR. The visa can be valid for up to 5 years, but it's not going to take you 5 years to get a PR. The cost of applying for the visa is 1,540 New Zealand dollars, but a lot of employers, will pay this money for you. Some employers may not, but some employers may pay this money, cover your flight ticket, cover your, all expense paid. The processing time takes about, 2 to 4 weeks, but they just said 80% will be processed within 5 weeks. So for the purpose of, I would say, being a bit cautious and conservative, just give or take 5 weeks for the visa processing. Residency options. Can this visa lead to a permanent residency in New Zealand? The answer is a bold yes. So I like when people are this upfront. I like when countries are this straightforward. I like when you can just get this information, not hidden in black and white. It is just not hidden in gray, sorry. It is in black and white. Okay, so sorry, I just have to my TikTok is about to end, so please just bear with me. They say they can't find activity on TikTok. Okay, so TikTokers, are you there? Please just give me a live so that we don't have the TikTok end, because TikTok sends me a notification that there is no activity on TikTok live, so they may have to end it. So give me a thumbs up on TikTok so that the video does not end. Okay, so let's continue on Australia. So now to apply for this, New Zealand, I beg your pardon. To apply for the New Zealand visa, you must have an offer of full-time work from an accredited employer. You must meet work experience and qualification requirements depending on your job. So please mark that you must meet the work experience and qualification. I've been shouting qualification, but some people will say, oh, qualification, I have so many qualifications. You want to ask yourself, which qualifications do you have? What qualifications do you have? There are qualifications and there are qualifications. Not all qualifications are the same. Not all qualifications meet the criteria or the requirements. So please, before you go and pay for that cheap qualification, before you go online and register for that course, you want to find out if it meets the requirements, the visa requirements for the country that you are aiming to relocate to. So you must meet other requirements depending on the skill level required for your job. You must have spent the required time outside New Zealand if you are currently in New Zealand. You must show that you can speak and understand English. So I think their English language is about 4.0. It's lower than Australia, and you must meet other requirements of this visa. Okay, so you can bring your family. Again, you can bring your family, or you can bring your family on this visa. So your family will be your spouse and your children, your dependent children. You can bring them in on this visa. How long can you stay on the visa? We've looked at it. You can stay up to 5 years or 3 years if your job is ANSCO level 4 or 5, and you can be paid. So there are wages that you can be paid for the visa. I think it's about 40-something thousand, 40 something. Let's see how much you can be paid. 20 from 28th of February 2025, you can be paid 33.56 New Zealand dollars. 33 New Zealand dollars. I beg your pardon. I'm so used to saying pounds. So pay thresholds for different visa types. You have your care workforce to residence visa. For your care workforce to residence visa, it's 28 New Zealand dollars. You need to be paid 28 New Zealand dollars to access this particular visa. And you have to have worked for 24 months for you to get your permanent residency, 24 months, okay? So there are different types of these visas, but we are more interested in the healthcare, worker visa. So you can see for yourself, you can bring in your family, you can get your permanent residency within, 2 years, 24 months. So documents you need, because I think a lot of people will be interested in the documents you need. So you need your job offer. We talked about this. A copy of the employment agreement and job description, a scan of your passport, one acceptable photo, evidence of job experience, skills and qualification, evidence of occupational registration. You do not need occupational registration for healthcare jobs, okay? So evidence of your understanding of English, which is 4.0 in your IELTS. So I would say you can take your IELTS general or your IELTS academic, police certificates, chest x-ray, something like a tuberculosis test or a medical test, medical certificates, translated versions of all your documents if they are not in English. So these are the, documentation you need. Very easy and very straightforward, contrary to what people think. Very, very straightforward. So the question that will be on most people's mouth is, how can I get this job in New Zealand? And again, this is where Grammartorial comes in. So just like Australia, we have a list of employers that are accredited to be able to hire foreign care workers or hire you from overseas. So what we do as part of our master class or as part of our, course, those that are in our diploma or non-RQF and RQF diploma, you should get this, link to the accredited employers, and coupled with your Seek and other tools, other platforms, start applying for employers. But like I said earlier, if I know that we have a lot of interest, then it would really be going to network with these employers to see how we can leverage on our proposition as a UK-based training institute to, open up doors in these countries, to be able to open up opportunities, networking with employers in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and even Canada as well, to grant employment to as many of our students and our clients. So let's look at the work that you do. Your employer must offer you at least 30 hours of work a week, which is fair enough. I know some countries that want you to work for 40 hours, almost 40 hours a week. But with New Zealand, you can work 30 hours a week, especially for people that, may not be able to work for so many hours a week. So 30 hours a week, it's fine. And you are earning an upward of 40,000 New Zealand dollars. You may work only in the job and for the employer and in the location stated on your visa. So that is one of the constraints. I don't think it's a constraint because many countries do this. Even for the UK, you can work for your primary employer and then up to 20 hours for another employer. In Australia, you can work for your primary employer as well. But in New Zealand, it ties you. The accredited employer visa ties you to the accredited employer that brought you. You cannot do a second job while on an accredited employer work visa. So you need to note that this is one of the updates that were made very recently to this particular visa. So there are certain conditions that you can go, and one of the conditions I like is the study. You can study for up to 3 months in any 12-month period. It does not revoke your visa. So if you want to do a sandwich course, you want to do a nursing degree or a nursing diploma, you can do a sandwich nursing diploma 3 months for 4 years, and you become a qualified nurse. So it's a very good visa as well. It allows you to get a permanent residency within 2 to 3 years. You can bring your dependents, and it also allows for a streamlined visa processing within 5 weeks. So the most important thing for you to do and ask yourself is, you need 3 very important documentation for New Zealand. One will be your qualification. So you need a minimum of NZQF, level 4, which will be your RQF level 3 diploma, or your non-RQF level 3 diploma will meet that requirement. You also need to have your English language test 4.5, I would say, to just be on the good side, but 4.0 general or academic will be accepted. You also need to do what? You want to make sure that you have your employment. So these are the 3 key things you want to have: your qualification / experience, so it should be a vocational qualification, your English language test, and your employment. So we're going to be working, with our students over the next 3 months, doing lots of classes, employability coaching, one-to-one sessions, to be able to guide you and help you to secure those jobs, because the jobs are there. But is there sufficient interest? So that was why I asked the question, how many people are interested in these jobs? Is this something that will be worth it for us to, to go all the way to partner with companies that will hire and recruit you? But now that we know, we'll be disseminating more information as far as the jobs are concerned. So guys, let's take some questions. I'm going to stop sharing here. We still have 1 more to go, which is Ireland. If you're getting value, please let me know. Just say value, 100%. If you're getting value and you are enjoying this session, just let me know. Okay, so I can see some questions. Dennis is saying, Mrs. Laura, I am quite interested in Australia, please. So Dennis, please reach out to us. We're going to be letting those Grammartorial students know what is the next step, as far as the Australian jobs are concerned. So if you're already part of Grammartorial and you've gone through the career fair, please send us an email and just title it Australia or New Zealand or whichever country that you are interested in. And if you are not part of Grammartorial family yet and you want to leverage, on our partnership, on our strategic leadership and guidance, then you also want to send us a message. So thank you very much for those that are getting value. Thank you. We're not doing Canada tonight. Like I said, time will not permit us to be able to delve into Canada because Canada is another world and ball game altogether. So we're just like really giving you a high level introduction. 2 hours will not even be enough for us to go through these 3 countries. That is why I said we have a master class for 2 weeks where we will spend time to really break everything down, to get these employers, to go direct to the employers, to apply for these jobs, to apply for the skills, positive skills assessment. There is a whole lot that we need to do, to get to that point where we say we have gotten the job. So it's not just a quick fix thing. It's a process. That's why I said it's a process. So navigating this process, I'm just giving you like a very high level. Some people will be able to go on their own and do more research and, maybe come back to us and say, okay, I need help here and there. And we'll be able to plug into those areas where you need help. For some people, they already have the qualifications, they already have the certifications, they already have their English language, and they are saying to me, I just need help with a job. So that is where we come in. So wherever you need help, whether it's the employability aspect or the qualification aspect or the skills assessment aspect, we are here to help you. What we do not do is the visas because we are not immigration, consultants. We're not licensed immigration lawyers or solicitors. But if you are able to meet the documentation and the requirements, getting the English language, getting the qualification, getting the right experience, and getting the job, applying for the visa is very streamlined. Most employers will even have like their in-house recruiters or their in-house solicitors or in-house HR that can guide you and help you to apply for the visa. So the main thing is getting the qualifications, getting the RQF or the non-RQF qualifications, getting the experience, and getting the job. These are the 3 main areas that you want to focus and concentrate on, and the visa will just follow naturally. Okay, guys, so thank you very much, everyone that is getting value here. I'm seeing a lot of people watching, and we still have just 26 likes. Why? So pop those likes, let the likes go on. If you are getting value, like you said, I want to see you like and like and like and share. And those that are joining on TikTok and on Facebook, please make sure you like and let this go out. Let many people get to know VK. Thank you very much for joining. Number 3 gift badge, whatever that means, I do not know, but thank you very much for interacting with my live video. And hey, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Why don't you just hit that subscribe? If you're getting value, hit the subscribe button, and so that YouTube can recommend this kind of content to more people that will be interested and will also gain value like you. Okay, so how many of us are interested in Ireland, or do we want to take questions now? Do we have any interest for the Republic of Ireland? Let me see your comments. If you're interested in relocating to the Republic of Ireland, let me see your comments. So I'll go through very briefly on Ireland because I need to round up very soon. Okay, so if you're just joining us on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook, we're talking about fast track methods. We're not just talking about any method to go to Australia and New Zealand and Ireland. We're talking about the fastest way. We don't want to waste time. You don't want to, spend, a long time. You're talking about how can I get this really quickly. So the title of our discussion tonight, we've been speaking since, for the past over 1 hour on fast track methods and fast track pathways to get into Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland as a care worker. And these are fast track ways that can get you a PR in as little as 2 years. And you have seen for yourself for Australia how you can get this, the step-by-step process to get it. A lot of people fall victims to scammers, and they get vulnerable to people that, exploit them because they want a quick fix. So even though we are saying fast track, does not mean quick fix. So you can see everything that I've been talking about has been about process, has been about what strategy, has been about a pathway, has been about, getting the right documentation, getting the right qualifications, getting the right certifications, getting it right. So you want to make sure you get it right so that you do not expose yourself to any form of exploitation, or you do not expose yourself to what do I call it, to scam. Because when you have the right information, information is power, but the right information is even more powerful. It arms you. You are equipped with the right information. So you know where to go to. You know the right links to go to. You know the right websites to go to. You know the right jobs, the accredited employers to approach. I'll tell you a story really quickly. Someone approached me, I think a while ago, a couple of months ago, and said a company wanted to sponsor them for a charity work visa. It was a religious organization here in the UK, and they had given them a job offer, and all the process was in place. And the first question I asked this person is, what is the name of the company that wants to sponsor this person? And they sent me the name of the company, and I went straight to Charities Commission. I couldn't find that particular organization or church registered with Charities Commission. Number one big red flag. And the next place I went to the list of licensed sponsors, and they were nowhere there. And I went back to this person. So what is the basis of this sponsorship? How is this company going to be able to sponsor? For the number one, they are not a registered charity, in the UK. Number two, they are not a licensed sponsor. So how are they going to be able to sponsor? So we were able to, within, 2 to 3 minutes, realize that there was no job and there was no sponsorship, and it was all a sham and a waste of time. So some of this information I'm giving you is to equip you and to arm you. It's to prepare you. And even in our master classes, we go deeper, we delve a lot deeper, into being able to get these companies, because I know that the job is equally as important as the qualification. So you cannot get the job without the qualification, and getting the qualification, you need a job. So the two of them work hand in hand. So you can't start talking of having a job in Australia if you do not have a positive skills assessment. And you cannot talk of having a positive skills assessment if you do not have the qualifications. So these are things that you need. So this is not something that someone can come and tell you, okay, pay this XYZ amount and get. It's not something that can happen like that. And I like it because they have like scam proofed it. They have made it, fail proof. They have really made it a very robust system. And I'm hoping to see that the outcome of the consultations from the immigration white papers would lead to something similar like this, that the brightest and, the best minds will be able to remain in the UK, come into the UK and contribute, to the UK economy. Okay, so enough said. Let's take a few questions and then we move over to Ireland. So I'm just going to look at questions. A lot of people are interested in Australia. Kelly is saying these three countries are good. Yes, but Australia is quite good. Okay, yes. So, Aina, the live is going to be available on YouTube for people to watch. So if you have missed, you can always go back and, watch this live video. Or you can ask questions here and maybe someone can just, just share with you. So someone said most of the job posting for Ireland does not include sponsorship. Okay, that's a very good question. How can you identify companies or organizations that offer sponsorship in Ireland? I, for one, have companies in Ireland that are offering sponsorship. I know companies that have reached out to me to say, they're offering sponsorship to foreign workers, to UK-based workers, to workers from Africa, from India, from outside of the EU. I have those companies. But like I said earlier at the start of this live session, is that majority of these companies are asking for a valid driver's license, because insurance in Ireland is very, very high. Insurance is high. And they are saying that from their experience, they have brought in people, from outside the EU, and have given them maybe 6 months to 1 year to pass their Irish driver's license, and they have not passed it. They are paying thousands of pounds every year for insurance, and no company, it's a lot of expenses, it's a lot of financial commitment to hire and overseas workers, to hire a worker from outside of your home country. So if you spend thousands of pounds as an organization, as a hospital, as a company, hiring a carer from Ghana, from Nigeria, from India, you do not want to keep spending more money year after year, paying heavily for insurance. So business do have costs, but if you're able to find a cheaper way to get a local, carer that already has a driver's license, why would you want to spend, maybe 5 to 6 thousand pounds paying insurance for 1 year for, a foreign, maybe international driver's license, when you can pay, less than 3 times that amount for someone that already has the license? So what I'm going to do, I'm going for this big careers fair in the Republic of Ireland next month. So I will be speaking to some of these employers and more. If there is any possibility to scrap that driver's license requirement, that's one. Two, if we're able to find like core care homes, like hospices, residential care, maybe not supported living this time, like more residential care, hospices and hospitals that will not require you to drive. So you're not required to drive, so that we can skip that requirement for driving. And then thirdly, if there can be sort of like a compromise for the worker to sponsor their own insurance. Because there are some people that will say, okay, what if they hire me from Nigeria or from Ghana or anywhere, and I will pay my own insurance myself? It's a business insurance, so I'm not sure how that is going to work. But we're going to be exploring different opportunities, different avenues, different ways we can make this work. Because the employers need you, but there is an hurdle. In time past, I know that these Irish employers have given a condition. Even employers in the UK, in other countries, have given a condition for home carers, and they have said this job offer is conditional on the premise that you will pass your driver's license within 6 months. And I can tell you that a lot of foreign workers, a lot of immigrants just came in and forgot all about the need to pass their driver's test. So people that have come in and have abused that privilege are the ones making it really difficult and tough for people that are coming behind them. That is why I always say to people, if you've been given an opportunity, if you've been given a privilege, do not abuse it. Because if you abuse the opportunity and privilege you've been given, you're going to make it really difficult for those that are coming behind you. So I know of a particular NHS trust in England. I'm not going to mention the name of the trust, but they, in the height of this, whole post-COVID recruitment, foreign recruitment era, they recruited over 500. I had almost 1,000 internationally trained nurses and healthcare assistants. They recruited quite a lot, for this particular NHS Foundation Trust. They're quite a big NHS Foundation Trust. And because they are based in the community, the work they do in the community, so they were community nurses and community healthcare assistants. So their work was to go out, as domiciliary. And because this particular NHS Foundation Trust is not like in the urban area, it's quite rural. It's maybe not too rural, but it's rural / suburban. So they do not have very good transport network. So the condition on their COS or on their offer letter was that they were going to get their drivers, their full UK driver's license within 1 year. So they would be using their international driver's license for 12 months. And after the expiration or before the expiration, they were expected to get their driver's license. Guys, it will shock you to note, that not up to 20 of them kept to that agreement. Not up to 20 of them kept to the agreement. So the trust, being so magnanimous and gracious, gave them an additional 6 months to say, okay, the 12 months or the 1 year we gave you has elapsed. Where, is your license? Everybody submit your driver's license to HR. And there people were telling one story, my children, my this, my that, I don't have time. It was stories after stories. They didn't keep to their agreement. And then the trust was so magnanimous to say to them, okay, we're going to give you an additional 6 months. Take an additional 6 months, go and pass your theory test, pass your practical test, so that we can confirm you fully. Guys, 6 months passed, and a lot of them had not even passed their theory, not to talk of practicals. And the next thing the trust did was they revoked. They just sacked all of them. They sacked them, and it was massive. All of them back into the employment market looking for jobs. And once they sack you like that, when you're on a visa or you're a COS, in the UK, you have 60 days to leave. In Australia, in New Zealand, in other countries, you have a limited time to find another employer or to leave the country. So this is what happened to them, and they were in that position. So I don't know how that is going to work, if the employer says, so most employers do not want to even go through the process of saying, come and work for us, and then, you would maybe pay for your insurance or you get your license, because they know that it's difficult and a lot of people may not do it. So that's the issue with Ireland, because the Irish visa is for home carers primarily. They also have a stream for healthcare assistants working within the care home, supported living, and hospital. But I would say maybe 60 to 70% of the sponsorship jobs that you're going to get in the Republic of Ireland will be primarily your home carers work. So now, what are the documentations you need for Ireland if you are interested in Ireland? Number one, you want to get a job, which we have seen is sacrosanct across these 3 countries, a job with, an employer. It just needs to be an employer in Ireland. They don't talk about accredited employer, licensed employer. It's just an employer that is registered with the state of Ireland. And that job must have been advertised on the URES portal and jobs.ie portal for 28 days. So that's just the requirements. The job that you got must be advertised for 28 days. Thirdly, you need to have a qualification, a care qualification. Most companies that I know, most companies that have reached out to me are looking for people that have a QQI equivalent. So because the Republic of Ireland is so similar to, the UK in terms of qualifications and, the modus operandi of a lot of their health systems, they will be accepting an NVQ level 3. They will accept the RQF diploma or the non-RQF diploma. They do not accept online CPDs. So if you have your phlebotomy certificate, again, you can't use it as a stand-alone. You need to be using your phlebotomy certificate in combination, with for Ireland, in combination with your RQF or your non-RQF diploma. And then thirdly, for Ireland, the third documentation you will need is you need to do what? To have your passport. Your passport must be, I would say, 12 months. A lot of people miss that, but your passport must be 12 months, at least 12 months old when you're applying. So if you have a passport that is due to expire within 6 months, it's a bit iffy. It's 50-50 because they want you to have sufficient validity on your passport. They pay so much attention to how much validity you have on your passport. And fourthly, for Ireland, what discourages some people is that they need a 6 month bank statement. So if you are in the process or you're thinking of Ireland, you want to make sure you have a bank statement. All the other countries we looked at, they do not ask for bank statements. But even though you are being sponsored by an employer, whether your employer is giving you accommodation or whatnot, they still want to see a bank statement. And I would say you need to have a minimum amount, of a couple of thousands of euros equivalent, so which would be some millions in your account, sitting in your account for 6 months. And any large deposits or transfers would need to be explained. Okay, you will need to explain it. So these are the requirements for the Republic of Ireland. So if you're interested in the Republic of Ireland, please reach out to us. Please reach out to us. Someone is saying that they just joined the live. Can we give a brief requirement of each country? So please, if you have been on this live since we started, I will appreciate if you can just help me to type out the requirements for Australia, for New Zealand, and also for Ireland. Okay, so let's take questions now. I'll take questions from TikTok. So Herbon Oluwa is asking, is the RQF diploma the same as NVQ level 3? So yes, the RQF diploma stands for Regulated Qualification Framework, and the RQF is a regulated qualification framework, and it's a national vocational qualification. So yes, it is an NVQ level 3 diploma. Correct. Okay, so so all those that just joined on TikTok, you are welcome. We are talking about fast track, pathways to Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland care worker visa to PR for free. So it's what you can do for free, do it yourself, get jobs with accredited employers, licensed employers, and relocate to these countries, before the end of this year. So this is what we are talking about. So please like and share the video on TikTok so that the algorithm, recommends us to a lot more people and we can add value to people. For those that have gotten our gift badge or, bought us gift or stars, thank you very much. And for those that are watching on YouTube and on Facebook, thank you for staying all this while and, just being a part of our community. And I'm so excited and delighted to be adding value to you. But it's what you do with the information you receive that matters. It's how you run with it, it's how you interpret it, how you implement it that matters. So do not be a listener only, do not be a hearer only, but be a hearer and a doer. Somebody type in the comment section, say, I will take action. I want to know those that will take action. I want to ask you, what action are you going to take? What action are you going to take? For some people, you do not have the qualification. The first step you need to take is to get the qualification. That is the first step on this journey. For some other people, you already have the qualification. Now, your next step is to get your English language proficiency and to get the job. So what step are you going to take to get the job? The good news is that Grammartorial has a 2-week masterclass that is dedicated to supporting and guiding you through your job application and your job search journey. For some other people, you are at the stage of getting a positive skills assessment, and we're also able to help you. So whatever stage you are, wherever you are, you need someone to hold you by the hand and guide you to take the right action. We are here on ground to help you. Okay, so I can see only how many action takers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 people have committed to taking action on YouTube. On TikTok, nobody's taking action. Hey, so what are you guys doing? Sitting down and watching for an hour, 30 minutes, and you don't want to take action. So please drop that. I will take action so that you can come back here in 6 months' time when you are in Australia or you are in New Zealand or you are in Ireland. If you will remember, I hope you do remember. So you will come back. So drop a comment and say, I will take action. What action are you going to take? What action are you going to take? Yes, Ebon Oluwa, you can take the RQF diploma with Grammartorial. We have a new cohort that is starting, I believe, on the 17th of June. One of my team members, please confirm the dates for the next RQF cohort and non-RQF cohort. So you can join the RQF June cohorts I'm going to be introducing something very interesting for the June cohorts, and that will be the Canadian pathway. So it is no longer news that Canada has introduced a rural, immigration pathway, and we're going to be exploring that pathway for the June cohort. We're also going to be delving deeper into the Australian pathway, because I can see that a lot of people have told me they are interested in Australia. Let me see how far it is. I've not been to Australia before, but I'm ready to go for Grammartorians to Australia. So let's see how far. Who knows how far is it from Australia? How far is it from Australia to from England, from London to Australia? I think it's really, really far. It's up to a day. London to Australia. So I'm going all the way to Australia if there is sufficient interest. If there is sufficient interest for me to go. How long is a flight from us? If it's too wait till before I commit to it. If it's too far, I'm not going to go. How many hours? Oh my days. Oh my days. 24 hours. 23 hours, 50 minutes from London to Australia. 24 hours. I just wanted to check. Ike is saying, please go for we your students. So 24 hours to Australia. Hey, 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 guys, I can tell you, for free that going to a country and meeting with employers on ground is not the same thing as sending emails and phone calls. It's not the same thing. Airport transfer time is just 35 to 50 minutes. So I'm going to be, oh my days, that's a really long flight. 24 hours. Yes, I knew that. Australia is far. That is why a lot of people are not looking at Australia. London to Lagos is just 6 hours. So I can jump to Heathrow tonight and I'll be in Lagos tomorrow morning if I want to. But for Australia, it's 24 hours. So let me ask you a question. Will you be willing to travel? I don't even know how far Australia is from India. So will you be willing to travel 24 hours? What if you need to go back home to see your family? Do you consider that? Everybody is saying I can do that for Grammartorians. Oh my days, it will be interesting. But I'm definitely going to Ireland. But I just get the feeling that a lot of people want Australia even more than Ireland and New Zealand. So let's make Australia happen. Let's make Australia happen. So when I went to Ireland last year, I was able to see employers face to face. I was able to tell employers what we do at Grammartorial and how passionate our students are and how hardworking a lot of our students are. And employers, started to contact me after the event, to set up like meetings. So that's, seeing someone physically, talking to someone physically, they're seeing you. I believe it goes a long way. And we're able to make some very strategic connections and partnerships with employers in Ireland. And we could see for ourselves that it works. So it's not just about researching, reading the government website, listening to the news. It's about going there, booking meetings, going to their office. They're seeing you, you seeing them, attending these shows and getting to meet them. So there is a huge and growing interest in Australia. I was thinking that the distance will be enough to, put some people off, but it's good to see that people are not put off by the distance. So what am I doing? What am I doing when I'm not teaching? What am I doing when I'm not in training sessions? What am I doing when I'm not live? What am I doing? I am looking for opportunities. I am hunting for opportunities. I am searching for opportunities, for links, for connections, for jobs, for my family, for my Grammartorial family, for my students. Sometimes I put up a post and I see people saying, oh, have you finished helping all your family members before you help, outside people? Yes, I can tell you that my family members they're all, in one country or the other, or they're all doing, what they want to do. And help never stops. My family is not only my biological family. I do not see my family as only my biological family. I see my family as even people that I meet. There are people that I've met on the streets of Instagram that have become family to me. There are people that I have met on Facebook. I have never seen them, but I've shared very good, friendships and relationships with. And that is what the world is, in 2025. We're in a different age, we're in a different dispensation. So sometimes the people that will help you may be people that you least expected, you never knew. You never know where help will come from. That is why sometimes when I see people making really bad comments on Instagram or Facebook, I cringe, because I'm like, with your page, with your face, with your, even those that do fake profiles, I cannot for the life of me imagine how someone will make a really bad, unkind, and nasty comment on Facebook, because you just never know where help could come from. You never know where friendship is lurking. You never know where connections are, just around you. So some of these things are important. And at the end of the day, man proposes, but God disposes, and that is why, irrespective of everything, all our plans, all our desires, everything we want to do, I just think that in life, it's good to be kind. It's good to be, yes, it's good to have expectations. It's good to have a strategy. It's good to have a pathway. It's good to have information. It's good to know these things, especially if you are living in the diaspora or you are planning to relocate abroad. It's good to have information. It's good to know the right people. It's good to follow who know road, as they will say it, because a journey of 40 days could take someone else 40 years. A journey of 3 years could take some other person's 30 years. It all depends on who you know, and it all depends on what you know. So it depends on the people you know, the connections you have, and also the information that is at your disposal, and what you do with that information. That is why it's not enough for you to just watch a YouTube video. All well and good. We've been here for almost 2 hours now. It's fine to watch a YouTube video, but what you do with the information you receive, who you work with, the community you belong to, the friends you keep, the people you speak to on a daily basis, the things you keep seeing on a daily basis, the actions you're taking on a daily basis, all this will, determine your end results, will determine if you will arrive at a destination, will determine if you will be successful at the end of the day. So, Mr. K, if you are just joining us, we've talked about the process involved for New Zealand. We've also talked about the process involved for Australia. We spent a lot of time on Australia, and we spent some time on New Zealand and less time on the Republic of Ireland. Like I said earlier, I will be in Ireland next month, so I will be sharing live, with recruiters and employers from Ireland. I will be going back to meet with some of those employers that I've met with, asking for, some very high requirements and criteria, to see if some of those criteria can be lowered a bit, or if we can have some, compromises or negotiations as far as the driver's license, is concerned. Because it's not a visa requirement, it's an employer requirement. So I will be negotiating with them to see if there is any possibility, if there's any leeway or any wiggle room or any compromise, as far as that particular requirement is concerned. So, guys, before we call it a day, I think we want to round up now. Is there any question that I have missed or have not answered? Is there any question that we've not answered? Do we have any questions? Any question from TikTok? Chichi saying, what topic are you talking about? Chichi, we're talking about, I didn't even put topic on TikTok. Oh dear. I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to TikTok. We're talking about fast tracking pathways, visa pathways to Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland, particularly the care worker to PRO visa pathway for free. So we talked about the requirements. Let me see, there are some messages. We talked about requirements and other things that we need. So Mr. K, thank you. Okay, guys, if we do not have any more questions, I guess we'll call it a day. We'll call it a day here. Shu is saying, I have a bachelor's degree in nursing 2 years ago. Can I apply for Ireland? Absolutely. You can apply for Ireland with a bachelor's degree in nursing, Shu. Send me an email on info@grammartorial.com and I will let you know some of the companies that are looking for people, internationally trained nurses. So my email is info@grammar. Grammar spells GRAMMAR, Grammartorial, TORIAL.com for those on Facebook or TikTok. So it will be info@grammartorial.com. And then Clarice is asking, what's the difference between level 3 diploma in adult care and level 3 diploma in health and social care? Okay, so adult care is just a specialty of health and social care. Health and social care is broader. It's just more broad. It comprises health and social care. So you can have learning disabilities. You can have different areas, supported living, you can have residential, you can have, children, young people, adults, under health and social care. So it's not limited. But for adult care, it's limited to adults and mostly elderly patients. So adult care is also good if you are interested in that niche or in that area. But I prefer the health and social care diploma or even the healthcare support. So the level 3 diploma RQF that we offer at Grammartorial is the healthcare support. The beauty about the healthcare support diploma is that it can be used for so many countries. Mitchell, if you are on TikTok, can you please type the correct for me, or can I type it? I don't know if I have any of my okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, so what was I saying? I was saying that the healthcare support is superior in every way to adult care, is superior because it has different disciplines. You can use the level 3 diploma in healthcare support for so many different occupations, ranging from physiotherapy assistant to occupational therapy assistant to clinical assistant to maternity assistant to nursing assistant, healthcare assistant, clinical support workers. You can also use it for roles like nurse practitioner, assistant nurse practitioner. You can use it for roles like even your radiography assistant or radiology assistant, imaging technician, because it's healthcare support. So it plays a supportive role, or it empowers and equips you to work in any supportive role as far as the healthcare industry or the healthcare sector is concerned. And another beauty about the RQF diploma is that it meets the requirement for CQC registration as a registered user on CQC platform. CQC stands for Care Quality Commission in England, and also in, maybe even in Scotland or in Wales and in Northern Ireland, in Republic of Ireland, in New Zealand, and even in Canada, you can use the RQF to get registration. We have students that have used it in Alberta province, in Nova Scotia, and in other provinces as well. So you can use it to become a registered healthcare aide. Healthcare assistant is a registered occupation in Canada, and the RQF diploma meets the requirements. So I'll see if I can come live tomorrow or maybe during the week. I don't know, but I want to talk about Canada. The new Canadian pathway is going to benefit a lot of people. And I think before it starts to go viral or before they close the door, you want to use it as well. You want to have it as an option. And that is why I really like the courses that, we offer at Grammartorial, whether the non-RQF or the RQF diploma. You can use it for so many countries. You can use it. Our students are using it for Canada. You can use it, in Australia, it meets the requirements. In New Zealand, it meets the requirements. In Ireland, it meets the requirements. So I think it's just awesome, just using one stone to kill so many birds, using one qualification to access multiple opportunities. One qualification, the same qualification can get you a job as a physiotherapy assistant. The same qualification can get you a job as a clinical assistant. The same qualification can get you a job as a radiology assistant. Is that not a powerful qualification? So the RQF is powerful. Don't look at the price. I have a lot of students that instead of registering with Grammartorial for the RQF, they went to other companies, other organizations, other institutes, and they registered for adult care. And they are back to us. They are back to square one. So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Don't say, oh, let me go and register with another company, phlebotomy, and then I'll come back to Grammartorial to do master class. In that way, I'll save £100. That £100 that you are thinking that you want to save, at the end of the day, you will cry, because it will be penny wise, pound foolish. So if you are still in the process and you are trying to decide, some people will come and meet me. I went online. What's the difference between your phlebotomy training and other phlebotomy training? Why is your own so expensive? Grammartorial is not for everybody. Okay? Why is Grammartorial so expensive? Number one, Grammartorial is not expensive. It's what you can afford. It's you that cannot afford it. It's you that cannot afford it. Grammartorial is not expensive. So when people come and tell me, why are your courses so expensive? I don't like to hear that. I don't like to hear it. It's just because you cannot afford it does not mean it's expensive. iPhone 16 is cheap for some people because they can afford it. And it's expensive for some others. For some people, it's a toy to them. They can buy 10 of it. They can use it as giveaway, for their wedding reception because they can afford it. And the value of an iPhone and the value of an Android phone, or maybe a different type of phone, is not the same. They don't perform the same function. So the value of a Grammartorial, certificate or degree or whatever you may call it, or a master class, it's not the same as anything you can get anywhere. I can beat my hand on my chest that as far as these qualifications are concerned, what we are doing, at Grammartorial, nobody else is doing it, because it is born out of a passion. It is born out of a personal experience. It is born out of a journey. It is not born out of an idea to start a business. Grammartorial is a platform. I will say it now. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Grammartorial is a platform for the lifting of men and the lifting of women. Grammartorial is a platform. So we are not on the level or on the league of all others. So please, before you come to me and tell me why are you this amount or why are you that amount, we are in a different league. And I'm talking now about going to Australia. Please calculate how much will it cost me to go to Australia or go to Ireland. How many training providers do you see are traveling to seek opportunities, to seek for open doors for their students, for their followers, for their audience? How many people are doing that? How many training providers are coming live, are giving updates, are interpreting these things? New Zealand just updated their accredited worker visa this month, and I am live with the information. Australia updated in March, and I am live with information. Canada has opened up a rural immigration pathway, and I am live with information. So Grammartorial is more than just another care training. Grammartorial is more than just an institute or a training provider. It's actually a platform. We've had students come into Grammartorial, take the phlebotomy training, got a band 2 job, and in 2 months got a band 4 role. Band 4. My student just shared with me her ID card, band 4 supervisor, phlebotomy supervisor, 0 UK experience. So one thing I like about principles is that if it could work for one person with the same conditions, it can work for you. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Someone is asking, how much is phlebotomy? So it depends on where you are based. Where are you based? So we have phlebotomy in Nigeria. We have phlebotomy in Ibadan, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, and where? And in Abuja. Lagos, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, and Abuja. We have the phlebotomy course, and it comes with NHS guide. So if you do your phlebotomy training with us in Nigeria, you get an NHS application guide. Now, talking about NHS, NHS is still recruiting, NHS is still giving visa sponsorship. So forget about all those political brouhaha that is going on, that people are mentioning things. I don't even want to talk about it because it's largely political. But all I will say is just focus on your focus. Keep doing what you are doing. Don't listen to the noise. If you keep listening to the noise, if you keep observing the wind, observing the waves, observing the cloud, you're not going to sow. You're not going to do anything because you keep looking. Oh, look at the clouds. Oh, look at what they said. Look at what. Just focus on what you are doing. So as far as those, white papers or the news, nothing has been implemented. Nothing has been implemented today. Before it will be implemented, maybe in a couple of months' time, what will be implemented, nobody knows. Nobody knows what will be implemented. So if you have a plan or a strategy to move from the UK to another country, you can do that. If you have a plan to switch from where you are to the NHS, carry on doing what you're doing. Continue to do what you're doing. Be focused. That's what I would say. Be focused. Focus on your focus. So for phlebotomy in the UK, we have centers in London, Birmingham, Manchester, and in Scotland. So for Scotland, we alternate between Glasgow and Edinburgh. We're alternating between Glasgow and Edinburgh. So next week, we have training in Glasgow. I think we have about 2 slots for Glasgow. And for Scotland, we're going to be focusing on NHS Scotland. I did a massive expose on NHS Scotland. If you've not watched it, you want to go and watch it. NHS Scotland have areas that they recruit. And also we have, trusts that are recruiting in England. So we have a list of over 30 trusts that have recruited Grammartorial students within the last 6 months with visa sponsorship. So we also shared that list with our students. It's classified information. It's information that is born out of first-hand knowledge and experience. And we only share direct sourced information with our students. So we'll give you this information and these links, if you join our UK phlebotomy classes. And for our RQF, it's starting in June. So in 6 months, by December, you can be through with your RQF training. Apply for your positive skills assessment for Australia in December and get your job. And by March next year, you are in Australia. So if you do not have your qualification, you can do that. If you already have your qualification, all you need to do is join the masterclass in June and then start applying for your jobs. And by July, August, September, you've gotten your positive skills assessment. And before December, you are in Australia, live and direct in Australia. And you come and tell us if there are reptiles in Australia, if there are snakes in your houses, or if there are crocodiles in your houses. So you can come and tell us firsthand what is happening in Australia. Okay, so the non-RQF is 3 months. And the difference between the non-RQF and the RQF is that with the non-RQF, you do not have access to nursing. It is completed within 3 months and it's just about half the price of the RQF, just a little above half the price of the RQF. And the advantage or the benefits of the RQF above the non-RQF is that you can get registration with CQC, like I mentioned earlier. You can apply for NHS Band 4 roles as assistant nurse practitioner. So if you are on the RQF or you have the RQF, I will recommend that you apply for Band 4 NHS roles, okay? It's less competitive than Band 3 roles. So apply for Band 4 roles with your RQF, and it also grants you access to nursing. Or if you can see any nursing associate traineeship or apprenticeship, you can apply for it and you can get sponsored for Band 4 nursing associate traineeship with your RQF level 3 diploma in healthcare support. So these are some of the ways that you can leverage your RQF and your non-RQF. So Oluwagwemiga is saying, I'm in the United Kingdom. So if you're in the United Kingdom, you want to join one of our phlebotomy courses or the RQF or the non-RQF course. Ebon is saying, if we need more information, who do we contact? So Ebon, we put out I don't know if one of my reps can pin our email. So you can send an email to enquiries@grammatorial.com or to info@grammatorial.com. Legendary Matthew is asking, what are the prices for the RQF? So you can send us a DM on TikTok and we'll give you the full information. Hershia is saying, how can I go about it? I'm in Cape Verde. So you can do it in Cape Verde. It depends on what are the regulations in Cape Verde. So are you able to get a work placement? Can you work in a hospital as a healthcare assistant or as a trainee or on an internship? Do regulations allow? If regulations allow you to do that in Cape Verde, you can join from Cape Verde, because the theory aspect of the RQF and non-RQF is done purely online, 100% online. But the vocational components or the practical aspect has to be done in a workplace setting. And the workplace setting can either be a care setting or a hospital setting. However, if regulations do not allow you to work in a hospital or in a care setting in Cape Verde or in your location, you can come down to Lagos, or you can apply to come and do it here in London or in the UK. Shu is asking, can I do it in Cyprus? Shu, if I remembered, you said you already have a nursing diploma. So if you already have a nursing diploma, there is no requirement or there is no need for you to do the RQF or non-RQF. So I would recommend you do the master class instead. The master class is 2 weeks dedicated to job, employability, positive skills assessment, employers that are recruiting. So Shu, I would say, join the master class if you already have a nursing diploma. If you're an auxiliary nurse, it depends on your qualification. I've said it earlier. It depends on your qualification. What is your qualification? Is it accredited by a national awarding body? Like, I don't know what the national awarding bodies in your country are, but here in the UK is Ofqual. So is it an equivalent of your national awarding body? If yes, then it can fly. But if it is not accredited by like a nursing council, midwifery council, or a national awarding body, then it cannot be accepted by Australia or New Zealand. Okay. Legendary Matthew is asking, how can someone in Nigeria get a work placement? So if you're in Nigeria, we have work placements in almost every state in Nigeria. We also have work placements in Ghana, in Accra, and in certain African countries. So if you are in Nigeria, I don't know which states are you in. We have work placements, and we can give you a letter of introduction. If we do not have a hospital partner in your state, we can give you a letter of introduction, and all you need to do is take the course specification and the letter of introduction to any hospital in close proximity to you, and you will also get your hospital placement there. Clarice is asking, do you send students on internship in the UK? So if you're in the UK, it's quite straightforward. In the UK, you can get a voluntary role with the NHS, or you can get an actual job with a care home or a care company, and our recruitment specialists can assist you with that process, Clarice. So if you're interested, our recruitment specialists can assist you. Okay, guys, so it's been so interesting, having this chat with you, and I think we should do this more often. What do you think, guys? I think we should come live more often, just to discuss, just to share latest updates, to keep you going, and maybe to look at some jobs as well, and to share live testimonies. I think testimonials are good. So if we have anybody from Grammartorial that stumbles across this video, any past Grammartorial students, whether it be phlebotomy or and cannulation, or the non-RQF or RQF or masterclass that is watching, that has gotten jobs, please do send us a message and let us know that you like to come live, to encourage other people If you are one of the initial doctors, international nurses, or healthcare professionals that join our masterclass, and you are now in the UK with your family, I'd like to invite you to come live. I know that not a lot of people like to come live because some people don't want, people to see them, or they don't want people, maybe their village people, to know what they are currently doing or where they are working or what they are going through. Some people like to keep a low profile and be private, and I respect you for that. But at the same time, you have to keep a balance on being private and not sharing, and also encouraging people. Would you rather want to be private and not share, and like not help someone, or come out and talk about your experience and help people? I'd rather come out and help people than feel shy and just talk away and not talk about my experience. Your experience can encourage, can lift, can bless, can transform lives. So just sharing your experience can be very transformative for not just one person, for a family, and it can alter the course of a generation. Just imagine someone is in one little village, maybe in Africa or in India, and they are struggling. The kids are struggling. The family is just in despair, and your testimony comes to encourage them, to show them the light, and to push them forward, and they are able to get maybe to Australia and to New Zealand. They will in turn encourage and lift others, and those people will encourage and lift others, and it just becomes a circle of goodwill, a circle of help, a helpful community. That is what Grammartorial strives to build and strives to become. So I hope I've answered a lot of your questions. I hope there are no doubts in your mind. I hope you have been blessed. You have been encouraged, to take actions. Jackie is saying, I'm a laboratory scientist. I did phlebotomy in Lagos. Oh, hi, Jackie. Do I need to do RQF or not RQF? Jackie, it depends on what qualifications you have. Maybe if you're already a registered nurse, or you already have, I don't know what qualifications you have, but if you already have like a nursing diploma, then maybe not. Maybe you do not need to do the RQF. But if you do not have a nationally accredited or nationally recognized care qualification, care diploma, or nursing diploma, then I would say it will be hugely beneficial for you to do the RQF, because you can, or non-RQF, because you can leverage it as far as all those countries we're mentioning, is about. And then even coming to Canada, the rural Canadian healthcare worker pathway, I'm going to talk about the healthcare aid pathway. Most employers are looking for value. So they are looking for either internationally trained nurses as far as healthcare workers are concerned, or they are looking for people that have nationally accredited, diplomas. And then adding your phlebotomy on top of it just makes it a banger. It makes it even more attractive. It makes you more sellable. Because if you look at recruitment, you are the product. That is just the truth. You are the product. And the employers are what? Are like the buyers, and they're coming to buy the product. So if you want to buy, I don't know, what product am I going to say? If you want to buy maybe this product, you want to check, oh, how does this product compare to maybe this product? How do these two compare? What does this have that this does not have? So that is how employers view applicants in the job market. They're looking at value addition. They're looking at, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to my company? Okay, you have an RQF, or you have a non-RQF, you have a nursing diploma, and you have a phlebotomy and cannulation accredited certificate. Oh, this is really good. So I want this person. So Jackie, you are not a nurse, but you're going to be limited to only laboratory work. And how many laboratory work are there in all these countries we've mentioned? So whilst laboratory work is in high demand in the UK, in Ireland, in these countries we've mentioned, however, you don't want to limit yourself to only laboratory work. Okay, I know of people that have gotten jobs from Nigeria, from Ghana as laboratory scientists in the UK within the NHS. But then it is a niche, it is a pathway. So you want to open yourself to more opportunities. Okay, and one of the ways you can open yourself to more opportunities, I usually share this, if you've watched my live videos before, you will see that I always share it, and I believe that I can present it again. So I always share it so that people can, I feel repetition is okay if the information is very, very important. So I will usually, oftentimes, share the national pay scales because it just tells you about the plethora of, opportunities, roles, and occupations that you are eligible for, with an RQF, with a non-RQF certificate, with a diploma, accredited diploma certificate. It just shows you how much there is for you. So I'm sharing that with you just, because you asked the question again, Jackie. So you can see that as far as UK NHS is concerned, and this will also apply to lots of, other countries, will apply to lots of other countries with your RQF and non-RQF diploma. You can apply for roles like, I mentioned them earlier, physiotherapist, assistant, just mind the word support or assistant, occupational therapy assistant, speech and language therapy assistant, therapy assistant, not elsewhere classified, maternity assistant. You can apply for roles like assistant nurse practitioners. You can also apply for roles like pharmacy assistant, optometry assistant, radiography assistant, podiatry assistant, social work assistant. Excuse me. You can apply for roles as dental nurse assistant, health associate assistant, nursing auxiliary and assistant, and I already talked about dental nurse assistant. And another beautiful thing you can do with your RQF or non-RQF diploma is you can do the 1 year top up for dental nursing. So oops, okay. So I really like, I'm just going to stop share and you can see the band. So your starting point will be band 3. You'll be starting at band 3, isn't it? So that's it there. You'll be starting at band 3, England 24 minimum, but we're seeing a lot of the NHS trust are now paying well above, £24,000. For Scotland, it's 26,000. For Wales, just above 24,000. For Northern Ireland, it's really low, so it may not qualify as much. But if there is anyone here that is interested in joining the RQF, then or the non-RQF, these are the range of opportunities on top of your phlebotomy. So if you go on, if we go on NHS track job, for example, you're going to see that a lot of the roles on NHS track, a lot of the NHS track roles are going to be asking for what? NHS track roles will be asking for people with NVQs or RQF. NVQs, RQF and non-RQF will meet the requirement for NVQs. But in addition, they'll be asking for phlebotomy, venipuncture, cannulation skills. So these are key skills, that they will ask for. So I would say for Jackie, if you want to focus on just laboratory, phlebotomy, blood collection only, you do not need the RQF or non-RQF. But if you want to open up and explore more opportunities in all these countries, then the non-RQF or the RQF will be a beautiful and pleasant way for you to combine. It will be a powerful combination with phlebotomy to access even more opportunities in these countries. Okay, so Thandi says I should talk about dental nursing in my upcoming live session and if it's a good path to consider and countries to target. So for dental nursing, you can target Australia. So Australia will take you as a dental nurse. New Zealand will also take you as a dental nurse. At least those 2 countries I know, and also the UK. But I do understand that there is a lot of uncertainty as far as the UK is concerned. A lot of people do not know what to expect with the UK, and it creates a lot some kind of tension. It's creating. So I'm just going to charge my phone. So it's creating, a little bit of tension. Okay, so it's creating a bit of tension and people don't really know what to expect. But I can tell you that dental nursing is beautiful. Time will not permit me to share it here because we've really overshot our time. But I do hope to be able to come live next week, maybe one live session I'll dedicate to Canada And another live session I'm also going to dedicate to dental nursing within the NHS and within the private sector. There are lots of opportunities. The salary is good, the pay is good, the job is good. You're not working. I'm not saying you shouldn't work so hard, but the job is really good and the pay is also very good. And it's a stable job, it's a good profession. From being a dental nurse, you can progress to being a dental hygienist and you'll be earning, some good pay. Some dental hygienists get paid as, as much as 45 pounds, 50 pounds, 60 pounds an hour, 70 pounds an hour, depending on your experience as a dental hygienist. So there is a clear pathway from becoming a dental nurse to becoming a dental, hygienist. And, it's a very clear pathway, progression pathway. So I'll highly recommend it for anyone that is looking to relocate, to any of these countries that we mentioned. So, guys, thank you very much. It's been such a nice time. I have to leave now, but I will be right back again within the next couple of days, and we will do more. We'll bring more opportunities. You must relocate this year by fire by force, whether within the UK switching or to other countries from Africa, from Asia, wherever you are, you must relocate by fire by force. And Grammartorial is here to help you achieve your dreams. Have a good night, everyone. God bless you. Until I come your way again, remain active. Bye.